Hello fellow humans! This week we're going to be doing a little bit more meal prep. So without further ado, we're going to get on with it. Show you what we're having for Monday night's tea. I'm boiling some potatoes here. These potatoes serve 4. I'm going to mix those potatoes with, I got some broth mix to use up. Now I was going to do a broth. I was saving a chicken carcass, however the chicken carcass did end up in the bin by accident. So now I'm left with this broth mix, and it's got bits of swede, carrot, a little bit of onion in there, some barley. I'm going to take the barley out completely and just empty the vegetables into the potatoes, and then I'm going to mash that together. So I've got a bit of a mash there, and then I've got a little bit of feta cheese, which I'm also going to crumble through and make it nice and salty. And then I'm going to form that into patties, and that is going to be baked in the oven. They're going to be baked in the oven, so little bubble and squeak patties. And with that, me and Laurie are having salmon. I've just put some lemon juice, salt and pepper on that salmon, and Paul doesn't like salmon, so he is having some of the leftover roast chicken. The salmon was 0 points, and the roast chicken that Paul had was 0 points. So these bubble and squeak patties were 5 points each, although as you can see, they're not very well regimented. Some are bigger than others. So I had one of the big ones and I counted 6 points. Ooh, we are having some chilly weather this morning. This is the Tuesday. And I just thought I'd show you how chilly it is here. Stella just coming in. What a winter's morning, eh? Okay, so for the first snack of the day, I'm pretty hungry. I'm gonna have some PB2, powdered peanut butter, and I mix that with some almond brie, a little bit of almond brie, and that makes it into a lovely dipping peanut butter. And I'm going to have some apple slices dipped in that peanut butter. The apple is 0, it's only 1 point, and that's for 2 tablespoons in there. It's now 11 o'clock, and look how beautiful it is now outside. The sun's come out. Just stunning, isn't it, today? It was -4 this morning, so it is warming up a little bit. So I've made the apple and the peanut butter. You do only need a tiny little drop. Even with the tiniest of drops, it still seems a little bit thin. I want to show you. It's not too bad. It's going to be tasty. So for 1 point, that's a great snack. So I'm going to eat this, and then I will show you what I'm making for lunch and dinner. Right guys, so a very unusual dinner tonight. I've just been out to the dry store to get some chicken, and the lock has frozen up and it looks like it's broken anyway, so I can't get in there to move the freezer. So we're going to eat what we've got. Peppers stuffed with some feta cheese, some chilies, peppers and some onion. And then I've rooted these out of the freezer, and they actually go off next month anyway, which are ribs. So I've never had these before, but pretty happy with the protein, because I did have some little vegetable dumplings, which I really fancied. But I just thought, if I'm having the peppers, and I know there's a bit of protein from the feta cheese, but this, a bit more of a well-rounded meal. So I thought me and Paul can share at these and the stuffed peppers. For my lunch today, I am going to have some turkey bacon. The turkey bacon is, oh, so good, isn't it? I love turkey bacon. I'm into turkey bacon. So this is the bacon I get, and it's really low points. For two rashers, it is 1 point. Now we're getting on to the stuffed peppers. A lot of orange peppers in this video. I stuffed these with some feta cheese that was left over from earlier. This is the feta that was left from the bubble and squeak patties. I wanted to get it used up, hence why I'm doing this recipe. I used 1 small onion and some of those chili peppers. Can you see them in the jar just there? They're the type that you get when you order a big kebab or a curry. delicious. So I sprayed my baking tin with some Fry Light. I stuffed it with the feta and the onion and the chilli. And then to finish off, I just squeezed over some lemon juice and a bit of black pepper, and they went in the oven at 190 for about 35 minutes. I quite like them when they're a bit crispy and charred on the top, so I put them in for 35 minutes. Then I moved on to my crumpets with bacon. I soaked the crumpets in a mixture of egg, which is 0 point, mixed herbs and some salt and pepper. I put a little bit of flora in the pan, so the flora lighter, that is 1 point, and the crumpets are 4 points each. And I put my turkey bacon into grill. It was just 1 point for the 3 rashers. Delicious. So I've just chucked those leftover onions from the feta stuffed peppers into the pan. If I don't eat them, I don't eat them. I thought they're going to go to waste, so I just chucked them in the pan. I thought I'd have some fried onions with my turkey bacon and crumpets there. So once this is cooked, with the HP sauce, which is a must with bacon, it will be 11 points. So that's quite high, but I get 23 points a day. My dinner tonight with the feta stuffed peppers, so 2 halves and some of those ribs, will be 10 points. So overall that's 21 points. I had the peanut butter this morning, so that's 22, and I get 23 in a day. Now if I want to have later on a bag of crisps or something like that, I'll just take it out of my weeklies. I've got 11 weeklies left. My weighing day is Thursday, so it resets on Thursday, and we are currently on Tuesday, so I've only got a couple of days left. I've got 11 points, so if I want a bit of a chocolate biscuit or a snack tonight, that's absolutely fine, I can do that. This is the finished dish. It was really, really nice with the brown sauce there. And earlier in the week, I'd actually made the same, but without the crumpets. I'd used a Warburton's thin protein bagel. They're only 4 points. So that whole meal was 5 points. The eggs, 0 points, and the tin tomatoes were 0 points. So for a bit of HB sauce on that as well, you're talking like 6 points. And this was the finished stuffed peppers and ribs. The stuffed peppers were great, like those. Wasn't that keen on those vegan ribs, just not for me, I'm afraid. Here I'm preparing a butternut squash, so I've just given it a really good wash, scooping out the seeds, and then I put it directly onto the oven shelf at 170, and I bake that for 50 minutes. Jamie Oliver does this, and it makes the skin lovely and sweet and tasty. It's really nice. And then I used the 30% reduced fat cheese, and I grated just enough to cover the tops of my beef and butternut squash. I think it was about 35 grams of cheese. I chopped up an onion and 3 cloves of garlic, and I popped it into the frying pan with 200 grams of minced beef. Now, as you can see, there was some minced beef left over there. I'm actually going to use that for some burgers later on. I knew there'd be some beef left from this recipe. I'm cutting up another orange pepper. Yay, let's get that into the pan with the spicy beef and a couple of carrots. These carrots, I probably could have cut them a little bit smaller. I've not got very good knife skills. I'm just a home cook, to be fair, so I just do them as fast as I can, get them in that pan, and then begin to add the spices. Now, this Ras El Hanout, which I'm probably mispronouncing, I apologise, I was going to put that in. However, you saw the finger wagging there. It had actually gone mouldy. I probably don't use it enough. So I just had a sprinkle of the chilli and the paprika and the cinnamon and the cumin instead, and I just sprinkled those into the pan, along with the Old Faithful mixed herbs. A beefy stock cube went in next. It gave it a really good texture and flavour at the end of the stock cube. The beef mixture was really, really, really nice. And if you didn't want to do the squash, you're not a big fan of squash, you could stuff peppers with this. You could stuff most vegetables with this mix. Or you could just have it in a jacket potato. Or you could have it with some pasta. It would do for a lot of things because it's quite saucy. I put about a tablespoon, maybe just over a tablespoon of tomato puree in there. And then this Sweet Freedom today is getting a good run because it's been in a few things. Just put a little bit of Sweet Freedom in just to take the acidity off the tomatoes. And you could see there I was using my cup of water just to wash that tin out. I just put a little bit of extra water in there with the tomatoes. Once this was cooking, because it was cooking down, I was trying to cook those carrots, it did dry up a little bit, so I did add a little bit more water. I had all this remaining minced beef then, so I thought, right, we're going to have burgers. Burgers are nice and easy. So I just used the beef. Egg is 0 points, so it's just counting for the beef. And I put a Laughing Cow blue cheese, which I really like blue cheese, but you could use normal Laughing Cow in the middle. It's like a melt in the middle burger. I know that they used to do these melt in the middle burgers at M&S, but I can imagine they were higher points than mine. At the last minute I thought, oh, I haven't sprayed those. I don't want those burgers to stick, so I give them a quick spray with the Fry Light. My squash is caramelising nicely there, and I pop those burgers in to cook. Those burgers, I did cook them for about 25 minutes, and they're going to be reheated when I need them. So when I was doing those burgers, then I didn't use the whole egg. I saved a little bit of the egg and I put some vanilla bean paste in, but you could use extract. It's just that I didn't have any extract. So I put the vanilla bean paste in there with the egg and a little bit of the Sweet Freedom again, and then coated my crumpet with it for a sweet, this time sweet crumpets. Now, as you can see, I've stuffed the squash there with the mince mixture and topped with some delicious Pilgrim's Choice cheese. Now, this crumpet was the crumpet of dreams. It was absolutely delicious. It was really nice and sweet. It tasted like French toast. It was spongy and gorgeous. The only thing was, my blueberries were still a little bit wet. I don't think I reduced them down enough, so it was a little bit like blueberry soup. That said, it was really, really good still. I loved it. So this was 5 points, and that is a bargain to me. 5 points. I did put a little bit tin pineapple on here. I know tin pineapple isn't 0 points. However, I've not counted it because it's a little bit of tin pineapple. So, live life on the edge. We've had snow. We had snow overnight and snow this morning. And it looks stunning now, doesn't it? What a nice picture to look out at when you're meal prepping. Wow, this is making my mouth water. I absolutely love squash done like this. Jamie Oliver, he just puts it straight in. You don't have to put anything on it, no oil or anything. You just put it straight in and it caramelises the skin and makes it lovely and soft. Able to scoop the insides out of the squash and then stuff with the mince. However, I absolutely love the squash. I thought, no way am I scooping that out. And also I didn't want to cook anything else with the squash flesh, and I wanted to eat it. So I've just topped mine with the minced beef mixture, and because I've topped it, I've actually got some left, and it was really nice. I had a taste of it. It tastes smoky and salty, and against the sweetness, or quite fiery as well, and against the sweetness of the butternut squash, that's going to be delicious. I can't wait to eat this for my tea. So I'll have one of those for my tea, and that is only 6 points. I can't believe that. The cheddar was 30% fat, reduced fat instead of 50%, so I just used less. Then I've got a bit of beef, which I can put with a bit of pasta at any point. I'll just keep that in the fridge. Top it with a little bit of cheese, because that was just left over. And then I've got the burgers, the pulled burgers, they leaked. The cheese fell out. So you saw me put that Laughing Cow in the middle. Yeah, some of the cheese came out of that. And that's everything for today, for today's meal prep. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. So now for the epic fail. That night I wanted a late night snack. You can tell it's late and it's dark. Sorry about the camera. You know, you want to film something from YouTube, do it in the dark. So I got 2 tablespoons of flour in there, an egg, some baking powder, some vanilla bean paste, and I wanted some spice in there. So a bit of cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of yogurt and a dash of almond milk. And that I thought would make the perfect mug cake. I was craving something really nice and sweet before I went to bed. Well, it serves me right, doesn't it? You shouldn't be eating just before you go to bed. So as you can see, this is the fail. I picked up the ground coriander instead of the ground cinnamon. Oh, lovely. Curry flavoured mug cake, delicious. And I did put a dash of salt in there as well, and 2 tablespoons of sweetener would have been enough. I put 1 tablespoon in, thinking, oh, it'll be sweet enough. It wasn't. I think maybe because it was counteracting that coriander. You could put some skinny syrup in there even. Oh, and another fail. I tipped the vanilla bean paste up. Half of it came out into the bowl. Yeah, not having a good night really. And it was late. And I was a bit tired, so it didn't go down well. And as you can see, I'm just moving all around, trying to get into some good lighting. Yeah, even darker there, love. What is going on? This is a ridiculousness. This is... Stop watching now. You might as well stop watching now. So I'm mixing that up. And you know what? I ate it anyway, because I just thought, I've made this now. So for this, if you did want to make it with the cinnamon and not the ground coriander, and put a little bit of extra sweetener in, that's what I would recommend. Put agave syrup in, or maple syrup, but you'd have to point it, or some stinny syrup if you didn't want to point it. I put this in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, and do you know what? The texture was really good, so I would make it again, and it was 8 points, because I have a little bit of whipped cream on the top, well, squirty cream. And that is ridiculous. I'd already put it on. I thought it was filming. I wasn't. And then I went in to put a little bit extra on top. This tipped me over into 2 points, that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry about the fail. I'll try better next time. Thank you and good night. I'll leave you with some beautiful snow. Hope you enjoyed the meals, and I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe, and comment down below if you've got any other meal ideas you'd like me to try out. See you next time. Bye bye.